He didn't wake up powerful, he woke up tired. The room was quiet. No applause, no sudden clarity, just a choice waiting to be made. For years he chased motivation, bright, loud, unreliable. It came and went like weather. So did his progress. One morning he stopped asking how he felt. He stood up anyway. Discipline was not dramatic. It didn't shout. It whispered again and again and again. Each small action stacked on the last. A bed made, a breath slowed, a task finished. Nothing impressive until it was. Days passed, then weeks. The mind grew calmer. The body obeyed. Life didn't become easier. He became stronger. And in that quiet strength something changed. Not the world around him, but the man who faced it. That was the moment his life turned. He didn't change overnight. There was no miracle morning, no sudden burst of motivation, just a quiet moment when he realized waiting had cost him years. Discipline didn't arrive as confidence. It arrived as discomfort, waking up when it was easier to sleep, starting when excuses felt safer, continuing when no one was watching. This is not a story about talent or luck. It's about choosing structure over chaos, action over emotion, consistency over comfort. Each day he showed up without applause. Some days were heavy, others felt empty. But discipline asked only one thing: return tomorrow. Over time, the noise faded, the mind sharpened, the direction became clear. If you've been waiting to feel ready, this story is for you, because the moment he chose discipline, everything else began to follow. Waiting felt harmless at first. He told himself there was time to start tomorrow, time to feel ready, time to become motivated. Days passed quietly, and nothing seemed lost, yet. Each delay carried a small price: a morning missed, a decision avoided, a promise broken in private. No one noticed. Life moved on. But inside, something weakened. He waited for clarity before acting, not realizing that clarity comes after action. He waited for confidence, unaware that confidence is built through repetition. Motivation became his excuse, a permission slip to remain still. The world did not punish him for waiting. That was the danger. It simply continued without him. Seasons changed. The body grew heavier, the mind louder. Regret did not arrive suddenly. It accumulated. Waiting stole his sharpness. It dulled his sense of urgency. It trained him to tolerate dissatisfaction. One day, he noticed the weight of time behind him. Not dramatic, not loud, just heavy. He understood then that waiting was not neutral. It was a decision. And every day he waited, he was choosing the life he said he didn't want. That realization was quiet, but it was the beginning. Discomfort was never the problem. Avoiding it was. For years, he arranged his life around ease. He chose the softer path, the familiar routine, the excuse that kept things comfortable. Comfort asked nothing of him and gave nothing back. The day he stopped waiting, he didn't feel brave. He felt resistance. His body resisted change. His mind argued for delay. Every instinct told him to return to what was easy. He moved anyway. Choosing discomfort was not dramatic. It was waking up when the bed pulled him back. It was beginning work before confidence arrived. It was staying present when quitting would have been simpler. Discomfort revealed truth. It showed him how weak his habits had become and how strong they could be. Each uncomfortable action sharpened his awareness. Each repetition carved discipline into his day. He learned that pain was temporary, but avoidance was permanent. That growth demanded friction, that the mind, when untrained, would always negotiate for comfort, so he stopped negotiating. Discomfort became a teacher, not an enemy. It stripped away illusion and replaced it with capability. He didn't seek suffering, he chose the work, and slowly discomfort lost its power, because he no longer ran from it. His emotions had always led. When he felt inspired, he acted. When he felt tired, he stopped. This rhythm kept him trapped. Emotions were honest but unreliable. They shifted with sleep, weather, praise, and doubt. Building a life on them was like building on sand. He began to see that feeling good was never a requirement for doing what mattered. Discipline did not ask how he felt. It asked only one question: will you act? Some mornings, motivation was absent. Some days, doubt was loud. On others, boredom pressed heavy against his chest. Discipline remained unmoved. He learned to separate signal from noise. Fatigue was noise. Fear was noise. Discipline was signal. Action came first. Emotion followed. By showing up consistently, his mood slowly stabilized. The chaos in his mind softened. He no longer needed to negotiate with himself. Decisions became simple. Discipline freed him from the tyranny of emotion. It replaced impulsive reactions with intentional response. He was no longer pulled by every feeling. He chose his direction. This did not make him cold. It made him steady. And in that steadiness, he found a new strength, one that did not depend on how the day felt. No one noticed the change at first. There were no announcements, no validation, no applause. His work happened quietly, early mornings, repeated routines, small promises kept when no one was watching. Silence became the space where strength was formed. He learned that real growth is rarely visible. It happens in private, when discipline replaces desire and effort continues without recognition. Silence tested him. Without praise, there was nowhere to hide. At times, doubt crept in. He wondered if the work mattered, if anyone would ever see the results. But silence answered with patience. It taught him to value progress over approval. Each quiet repetition hardened his resolve. Each unnoticed effort built endurance. Strength, he discovered, was not loud. It did not demand attention. It accumulated. Silence removed comparison. There was no race to measure himself against others. Only the task in front of him. Only the standard he set for himself. In that stillness, his focus sharpened. His confidence became internal. He no longer needed to prove anything. Strength built in silence was different. Calm, durable, unshakable. And when the noise returned, he remained unchanged. Many people begin, few remain. When progress slowed and excitement faded, he did not look for escape. When results took longer than expected, he did not abandon the path. He stayed. Staying was not heroic. It was ordinary, repeated daily, showing up when the mind searched for novelty, continuing when improvement felt invisible, remaining steady when quitting would have been easier. He understood that discipline is proven not in intensity but in duration. Anyone can change for a week. Staying required something deeper. There were days he doubted himself, days the old habits called quietly, but he had learned to listen without obeying. The man he was becoming mattered more than temporary relief. By staying, he earned trust in himself. Each completed day reinforced identity. He was no longer someone trying to be disciplined. He was someone who stayed. Life did not become perfect. Challenges remained. But he faced them without retreat. In the end, discipline did not transform him overnight. It revealed who he was willing to be. He stayed when others left, and that made all the difference. Discipline did not give him a new life. It gave him a solid one. There was no final victory, no moment where the work ended. What remained was structure, clarity, and the quiet confidence of a man who could rely on himself. The chaos that once ruled his days no longer decided his direction. He understood now that discipline is not a phase, it is a practice, a daily return to what matters. Some days were light, others were heavy. He met them the same way. The world around him still shifted. Noise still existed, difficulty still appeared. But he was no longer pulled apart by it. His foundation held. He didn't chase motivation anymore, he built consistency. And in that consistency, life became simpler. Not easier, simpler. This is where the story ends. Not with a dramatic transformation, but with a man standing steady. Still choosing, still showing up,